Welcome to the channel. Hit subscribe and dive into stories that'll stay with you long after the video ends. Let's begin. The rain pounded the alley like 1,000 angry fists, turning the cracked pavement into a slick mirror of the city's neon haze. Jake's heart hammered in his chest as he rounded the corner, his sneakers splashing through puddles that soaked his jeans to the knee. He wasn't looking for trouble, not tonight, not ever. But there it was, unfolding under the flickering streetlight like a scene from a nightmare he couldn't wake from. 3 guys, built like linebackers, had a girl cornered against the graffiti-splattered wall. She was small, her dark hair plastered to her face, eyes wide with a fear that cut through the storm. One of them, the leader with a shaved head and a sneer that twisted his face, grabbed her arm roughly. "You think you can just walk away? After what you know?" She twisted, her voice a sharp whisper edged with defiance. "Let go. Don't own me." Jake froze for a split second, the world narrowing to the pulse in his ears. He was just a barista, for God's sake. 25, scraping by in this forgotten corner of Chicago, dreaming of something more but never chasing it. But something in her eyes, that flicker of vulnerability mixed with steel, pulled him forward. He couldn't just stand there. "Hey!" His shout echoed off the bricks louder than he intended. The bullies turned, their faces hardening into masks of annoyance. The leader released her arm, stepping toward Jake with a laugh that didn't reach his eyes. "Mind your business, hero. This ain't your fight." Jake's fists clenched, adrenaline surging like fire in his veins. The girl glanced at him, her expression unreadable. Grateful? Wary? He didn't know. But he couldn't back down now. "Looks like it is." "Back off," short, sharp words. The air thickened, heavy with the scent of wet asphalt and impending violence. The leader lunged first, a wild swing that Jake dodged by instinct, his body remembering high school wrestling moves he'd long forgotten. He countered with a punch to the gut, the impact jarring up his arm. The guy doubled over, gasping. The other 2 rushed in. One grabbed Jake from behind, arms like vices around his neck. Stars exploded in his vision as he struggled, elbowing backward into ribs that cracked under the blow. The girl. She moved then, quick as a shadow, kicking the 3rd guy's knee with a precision that sent him crumpling. Together, in that chaotic blur, they fought. Punches landed with wet thuds, grunts and curses filling the night. Jake took a hit to the jaw, tasting blood, but he pushed through, shoving one attacker into the wall. The leader recovered, snarling, "You'll regret this." But they were outnumbered in spirit if not in numbers. Finally, the bullies broke, scrambling away into the darkness, threats trailing like smoke. Jake leaned against the wall, breathing ragged, rain mixing with sweat on his skin. The girl straightened, brushing wet strands from her face. Her eyes met his, deep and stormy, holding secrets he couldn't yet fathom. "You didn't have to do that," she said softly, her voice carrying an accent he couldn't place. European, maybe? "But thank you." He wiped blood from his lip, managing a crooked smile. "Couldn't just watch." "You okay?" She nodded, but her gaze darted to the shadows, as if expecting them to return. "I need to go, but—" "What's your name?" "Jake, yours?" A pause, the rain drumming between them. "Elena." She hesitated, then slipped something into his hand, a small, ornate key on a chain. "If they come back, find me." And with that she vanished into the night, leaving him standing there, heart racing, wondering what the hell he'd just stepped into. The key felt heavy in his palm, cool metal etched with unfamiliar symbols. Who was she? Why the bullies? Questions swirled as the storm raged on, pulling him deeper into a mystery he wasn't sure he wanted to solve. But something told him he had no choice now. Jake stumbled home through the emptying streets, the key clutched tight in his fist like a talisman against the chill that had settled in his bones. His apartment was a cramped walk-up above a laundromat, the air thick with the hum of dryers and the faint scent of detergent. He locked the door behind him, leaning against it for a moment, letting the adrenaline crash wash over him. Bruises bloomed on his arms, a dull ache in his jaw. But it was her face that lingered, Elena's, with those eyes that seemed to hold the weight of unspoken stories. He flicked on the lamp, its warm glow pushing back the shadows. The key glinted under the light, intricate swirls carved into its surface almost like a family crest. He turned it over, searching for clues, but found none. "What are you?" he muttered to himself, sinking onto the worn couch. Sleep evaded him that night, his mind replaying the fight in staccato bursts. The leader's grip on her arm, her swift kick, the way she'd vanished so effortlessly. Morning came gray and unforgiving, the city awakening with honking horns and the distant rumble of the L train. Jake brewed coffee, strong and black, trying to shake the fog. Work called. Another shift at the corner cafe, steaming milk and forcing smiles for regulars who never noticed him. But today everything felt off. He kept glancing at the door, half expecting those thugs to burst in. Mid-shift, as he wiped down the counter, his phone buzzed. "Unknown number," he answered warily. "Hello, Jake?" Her voice, Elena's, smooth and urgent, sending a jolt through him. "It's me. From last night." He stepped into the back room, heart picking up pace. "Elena, how'd you get my number?" A soft laugh tinged with nervousness. "You dropped your wallet in the alley. I picked it up. Meet me?" "There's a park near the river. 1 hour." He hesitated, the key burning a hole in his pocket. "Why, what's going on?" "Not over the phone, please." The line went dead. He stared at the screen, a mix of curiosity and caution twisting in his gut. The park was a green oasis amid the concrete jungle, leaves rustling in the autumn breeze as he arrived. She was there, on a bench overlooking the water, wrapped in a scarf that hid half her face. No sign of last night's fear. She looked composed, almost regal. "You came," she said, standing to greet him. Up close, in daylight, she was striking. High cheekbones, olive skin, eyes like polished obsidian. He handed her nothing. She returned his wallet with a nod. "Thanks, now talk." "Who were those guys?" She glanced around, ensuring they were alone. "They're associates of my family. Protective, but overzealous." Her words flowed carefully, like a river navigating rocks. "I ran away from that life. They want me back. Family? Like mafia or something?" He half joked, but her expression darkened. "Something like that. Old money, older secrets. I thought I could hide here, start over." She touched his arm lightly, her fingers warm. "You saved me, Jake. But now they might come for you, too." Tension coiled in the air between them. He felt drawn in, the ordinary rhythm of his life fracturing. As they walked along the path, leaves crunching underfoot, she shared fragments. A childhood in luxury villas, strict guardians, a father whose name she wouldn't say. Each revelation pulled him closer, her vulnerability cracking his walls. But as the sun dipped lower, a shadow fell. 2 figures watching from afar, the same build as the night before. Elena stiffened. "We need to move now." They hurried away, her hand in his, pulse racing. Who was she, really? The question burned, unanswered, as danger closed in once more. The city blurred past as Jake and Elena ducked into a crowded subway car, the rumble of the tracks drowning out their hurried breaths. Her hand gripped his tightly, a lifeline in the sea of indifferent commuters. "They found us too fast," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the screech of metal on metal. "I thought I had more time." Jake's mind raced, piecing together the puzzle. Old money, protective associates. It smelled like trouble deeper than street bullies. "Where are we going?" he asked, scanning faces for threats. "My safe spot. A friend's apartment uptown." Trust me, did he? This stranger who'd upended his world in less than a day? But her eyes, pleading and fierce, made the decision for him. "Yeah, lead the way." They emerged into the bustling streets of the Upper East Side, where brownstones whispered of wealth and history. Elena led him to a nondescript door, knocking in a rhythmic pattern. It creaked open to reveal an older woman, silver-haired and sharp-eyed. "Elena, child, what's happened?" "Aunt Mira," Elena said, embracing her. "We need shelter. Just for tonight." Mira ushered them in, the apartment a cozy haven of bookshelves and faded tapestries. Over herbal tea that warmed their hands, Elena opened up more. "My father, he's a powerful man. Controls industries, influences governments. I was his heir, groomed for it all. But I saw too much corruption, deals in shadows. I couldn't be part of it." Jake listened, the steam from his cup curling like ghosts. "So you ran. And those guys?" "His enforcers, loyal to a fault." She paused, her fingers tracing the rim of her mug. "The key I gave you, it's to a lockbox. Proof of everything. If they get it," Mira interjected softly. "You should have destroyed it, dear." "I couldn't, it's my leverage." Elena's voice cracked, revealing the girl beneath the poise. As night fell, they shared a simple meal, laughter easing the tension momentarily. Jake felt a pull toward her, this enigma wrapped in grace. But sleep brought uneasy dreams, chases through endless alleys, faces leering from the dark. Dawn broke with a pounding on the door. Mira froze. "Hide!" Jake and Elena slipped into a back room, hearts thundering. Voices filtered through. "We know she's here. Open up or we'll make this ugly." Mira's calm reply. "You've got the wrong place." A crash, the door splintering. Footsteps thundered in. Jake peered through a crack. The leader from the alley, flanked by two more, guns glinting in the morning light. Elena's breath hitched. "They found us. How?" "No time for answers." Jake grabbed a nearby lamp, hefting it like a weapon. "We fight or run?" "Run," she whispered, pointing to a fire escape window. They clambered out, the metal groaning under their weight, cold air whipping their faces. Below, the street beckoned, but shouts echoed from inside. Bullets pinged off the railing as they descended, adrenaline fueling their leap to the alley below. They sprinted, weaving through traffic, horns blaring. Elena's scarf flew off, her hair streaming like a banner. "The lockbox. It's at the old warehouse by the docks. We get it first." Jake nodded, fear and resolve mingling. But as they turned a corner, a black SUV screeched to a halt ahead, doors flying open. More men poured out, blocking their path, trapped. Elena's hand squeezed his. "Jake, I'm sorry." The leader stepped forward, smirking. "End of the line, princess." "Princess?" The word hung in the air, a revelation dangling just out of reach as chaos erupted once more. Tires squealed as Jake yanked Elena behind a dumpster, the acrid smell of garbage mixing with the sharp tang of gunfire. Bullets ricocheted off metal, sparks flying like angry fireflies. "Stay down," he yelled, his voice raw over the din. The leader's shout cut through. "Give it up, Elena. Your father's orders. Come home quietly." Her father. The pieces clicked, but not fully. Jake's mind flashed to the key in his pocket, its weight a promise of answers. "We can't stay here," he gasped, spotting a side street. They bolted, feet pounding pavement, lungs burning. The SUV revved behind them, closing fast. Elena glanced back, her face pale. "The warehouse, 2 blocks. If we make it..." A shot whizzed past, shattering a window nearby. Pedestrians screamed, scattering like leaves in a gale. Jake shoved Elena into a narrow alley, trash cans clattering as they pushed through. The pursuers followed on foot now, curses echoing. At the warehouse, a hulking relic by the docks, rusted doors creaking in the wind, they slipped inside. Darkness enveloped them, the air musty with decay and salt from the nearby water. Elena led the way, her steps sure. The lockbox is hidden in the office upstairs. They climbed rickety stairs, wood groaning underfoot. Jake's pulse thrummed, every shadow a potential threat. At the top, she knelt by a loose floorboard, inserting the key. It clicked open, revealing a metal box stuffed with documents, photos, a USB drive. "This is it," she breathed, clutching it. Proof of his embezzlement, bribes. Enough to bring down an empire. Whose empire? Before he could ask, the door below slammed open. Footsteps ascended, deliberate and heavy. The leader's voice boomed. No more running, Your Highness, Your Highness. Jake's world tilted. Elena froze, then turned to him, eyes filled with regret. Jake, I should have told you, but there was no time. The men burst in, guns drawn. Hand it over, the leader demanded. Jake stepped forward, shielding her. Over my dead body. A tense standoff, the room thick with unspoken fury. Then chaos. Jake lunged at the nearest, tackling him to the ground. Fists flew, grunts and impacts filling the space. Elena swung the box like a club, cracking it against another's skull. In the melee, Jake wrestled a gun away, firing a warning shot into the ceiling. Plaster rained down. Back off. The leader hesitated, then smirked. You don't know who you're protecting, kid. She's not just some runaway. I know enough, Jake snarled, though doubt gnawed at him. Elena shouted, Stop! All of you! The room stilled. She stood tall, box in hand. Tell my father it's over. I'm done hiding. The leader's eyes narrowed. He won't let you go, Princess Elena. Not with the throne at stake. Throne? The word exploded in Jake's mind. She wasn't just rich, she was royalty. Flashes of news headlines he'd half remembered. A small European kingdom. A missing heiress. But the confrontation peaked. The leader charged and Jake fired, grazing his arm. The man howled, retreating with his cohorts, vowing revenge as they fled. In the aftermath, silence descended, broken only by their ragged breaths. Elena slumped against the wall, tears streaking her face. Jake, I never meant to drag you into this. He approached slowly, the gun heavy in his hand. Who are you, really? She met his gaze, the truth poised on her lips, ready to shatter everything. The warehouse echoed with the distant lap of waves against the docks, a soothing counterpoint to the storm raging inside Jake. He set the gun down carefully, his hands trembling from the adrenaline's ebb. Elena clutched the lockbox to her chest, her regal poise cracking under the weight of revelation. Dust motes danced in the slivers of light piercing the grimy windows, casting her in an ethereal glow. I'm Princess Elena of Valtoria, she said softly, the words hanging like a confession. A tiny kingdom nestled in the Alps, beautiful but bound by traditions older than time. My father, the king, rules with an iron fist wrapped in velvet. The corruption, it's eaten away at our legacy. I fled to expose it, to free my people. Jake sank onto a crate, the pieces fitting like a jagged puzzle. The accent, the grace, the enforcers, it all made sense now. Why me? Why drag a nobody into this? Her smile was bittersweet, eyes shimmering. You weren't a nobody. That alley you saw me. Not the title, not the crown. Just a scared woman needing help. For the first time I felt real. He reached out, his fingers brushing hers. Warmth sparked there, bridging worlds apart. And now? With this? He nodded to the box. Now we end it. Determination hardened her voice. I'll go public. But I need your help. One last time. They left the warehouse under cover of dusk, the city lights twinkling like stars fallen to earth. Jake drove them to a quiet motel on the outskirts, where anonymity cloaked them. Over takeout pizza, grease-staining napkins, they pored over the documents. Ledgers of laundered money, photos of shady deals with foreign dignitaries. Elena's stories flowed. Childhood balls and gilded halls, the loneliness of duty. Her mother's quiet rebellion before her untimely death. As night deepened, vulnerability bloomed. I was supposed to marry for alliance, she confessed, her head on his shoulder. But I want more. Freedom, maybe. Love. Jake's heart swelled, the ordinary barista fading into a man reborn. You've got it. With me, but peace was fleeting. His phone rang, Mira, her voice frantic. They're coming. The king's men, armed, get out. They fled into the night, the box secured in Elena's bag. A high-speed chase ensued, headlights piercing the dark highways, engines roaring like beasts. Jake swerved through traffic, Elena navigating with steely calm. Left now! The pursuers closed in, ramming their bumper. Metal screeched, sparks flying. In a desperate maneuver, Jake veered onto a side road, losing them in the twists. They reached a neutral ground, a journalist contact Elena trusted, waiting in a dimly lit office. She handed over the evidence, cameras flashing as the story broke. Princess exposes royal corruption. The world erupted. Headlines screamed, her father's empire crumbling under scrutiny. Arrests followed, reforms promised. In the quiet aftermath, at a secluded cabin by a lake, Elena turned to Jake. "It's over. I'm free." He pulled her close, the scent of pine and her perfume mingling.
"What now?"
She kissed him softly, the future unfolding like dawn. "Us wherever that leads." As the sun rose, painting the water gold, they walked hand in hand, a hero and a princess, bound not by fate but by choice. The bullies, the secrets, the throne, all faded into memory, leaving only the promise of a life rewritten. Thanks for watching.